What's going on, gamers? Hopefully, everyone's been staying warm through this winter storm. We got some interesting stats here, though, from Helldivers 2 universe, right? Yeah, it says Helldivers 2 has reportedly sold over 20 million copies, most of them on Steam. That's insane. So we know PlayStation will be sub to that than Xbox, because obviously they got it way later and they just don't have the base. Now, here's the thing where it's like, when it comes to like service games like this or games that are going to be online, Steam is the platform you definitely do not want to miss when these type of games. Because you guys know as well as I do, like when you think about like Arc Raiders, Counter Strike, they do very well on Steam. The Steam base loves those type of games, so they made the right decision to not keep this as a PlayStation exclusive. You shouldn't do that with any service games because that always does very well on PC. So this is where Sony and Steam could be doing great things together when it comes to service games, and everything needs to be day and date on Steam when it comes to service games. Now, single player exclusive, that's different because that's kind of like their own thing. But this right here says a lot. Like 20 million copies, that's huge for Sony. Like that's massive. This is what they want from something like live service. These are numbers that Sony will want to see. Because the thing with Sony's live service compared to others, if you guys notice, something they've definitely changed is that they have a different approach to how they do live service. Definitely with this game too, because it's not a heavy microtransactions game. That was one of the best moves they could have done, and you can still kind of earn some things to that. It's more about, I'm going to charge you $39.99, kind of like Arc Raiders. I'm charging you $39.99. You see what I mean? But I'm not going to make it free to play, which is good. And I'm not going to bombard you to death and try to drain you like crazy. No, there's options there to get microtransactions, but the core soul of the game and the function has nothing to do with that. And that's great. That's what you want. That's the right way to do it. And I think because they set that game up that way, that definitely helps out a lot. And that they should continue to do things like that. Where it's like, the point of this service game is not to spend as much money as possible. Though, of course, they want you to get microtransactions, but you guys forget what I'm saying. You could tell when a game like is set up, free to play, they play like a game like a gotcha, and they're meant to just literally drain everything. And you're like, but where's the rest of the content at? Helldivers 2, you can play that as much as you want. You can actually earn some of that over time if you play enough. Not like crazy, but still. So we get the point here. Congratulations to Sony. And yeah, Steam is an important platform when it comes to that type of stuff. So going down here, yeah, troopers. If PlayStation needed another sign that its current push to put its first-party made and published games on PC and PS5 was a good idea. Well, for something like this, I would say so. Like Helldivers too. Yeah, you got to choose the right game. You can't just put anything on Steam and it's going to be successful. It has to be the right type of game. And like I said, when it comes to live service, that's it right there. It certainly has it with the latest report from Alina Analytics, which claims that the popular third-person shooter Helldivers 2 has sold over 20 million copies, most of them coming from PC players on Steam. When Helldivers 2 launched, despite its connectivity issues that hindered the experience and the controversy regarding PC players initially being mandated to connect their PlayStation Network accounts to their Steam accounts to play the game, it was immediately the standout hit multiplayer game of 2024. Yeah, we all remember that. It skyrocketed to the top of Steam charts. And even though it hasn't sustained that same level of popularity it had 2 years ago, it has successfully carved its own dedicated community out of the swath of multiplayer games people can choose to play. Yeah, Arc Raiders kind of took its place recently. But at that point, Sony already got what they needed out of it. If you got the 20 million and you got that, you got what you needed. And they can still keep updating the game. It still has players and it's still doing fine. You know what I mean? They can end up making a Switch 2 version. You never know. And I think they should. Definitely when it comes to live service. So, like, that's what I'm saying. When, like you said, you carved already your space into there. You've done it. You've shown massive success. That's what Sony wanted. It skyrocketed to the top of Steam charts, as I said right here, but it carved out its own dedicated community. Alina Analytics even adds that in December 2025, Helldivers had 3.6 million monthly active users across PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. That's still very healthy. You kidding me? After Helldivers 2 arrived on PC and PS5 at launch, it came to the Series XS consoles in summer 2025, and even ushered in the first instance of Halo coming to PlayStation through a Halo and Helldivers 2 crossover. That's what I was telling people. These are signs here. These are like early signs. And that was good for everybody in general. Before Halo was actually announced as coming to PlayStation. So far, Helldivers 2 has sold 1.6 million copies on Xbox or something like that, because they're trying to guess 5.6 million on PS5 and 13.1 million on PC. That's really good. Still really good numbers on PlayStation 5, but imagine if Sony was like, PS5 only. Yeah, it probably would have sold like 7 million on there, but that's not worth it compared to that 20 million. So absolutely never miss Steam when it comes to these type of games. You see what I mean? Adding the Nintendo Switch 2 version. Keep going. It has generated over 700 million in revenue for developer Arrowhead Studios and publisher PlayStation Studios. Arrowhead has definitely stepped it up. They deserve it. This game is nothing but a roaring success, and as Arrowhead continues to update it with new content, it is likely that we're due for a spike in Helldivers 2 popularity for a new expansion, or from a new expansion. Yeah, I think that's kind of due. I agree with them. I think they definitely should do something like that and surprise people. Similar to what the Into the Just update did for it last year. Though the most recent update to get excited about was exclusively for PC players, as Sony's internal PC porting house, Nix's figured out how to shrink the game's install base by 85%, freeing up a lot of storage space on players' SSDs. Yeah, that's true. That did happen. Interestingly, as far as previously console-exclusive third-person shooters go, when comparing how Gears of War Reloaded did on PS5 versus Helldivers 2 on Xbox, Helldivers 2 is the clear winner, selling more on Xbox than Gears of War has done on PS5. Yeah, I mean, because it was kind of like a lazy remix. So let's go down some comments here. Most of the sales are on PC. PlayStation 5 and Xbox kneel to the true gaming machine. That's funny. It's like, dude, it still sold like 5.7 million on PlayStation, maybe 6. So it's like, I'm not trying to hear that, man. You know, people say goofy stuff all the time. What's up, guys? Wow, it's nice to have you right back there. So, I mean, you're gonna have those type of comments, but those comments don't mean nothing, because that success is the most important thing here. This guy says, I lament Sony's decision to open up the PC. And then they open up to Xbox. You're like, they would never put a game on Xbox. So I'm saying Sony made some really good decisions last year towards the end of the year to show that they're intelligent. It's like, yeah, and then you did the Pro for $650, the PS5 digital $399, the other one for cheap too, $449 for 1 terabyte for a whole entire month. Then you still do deals and you put games elsewhere. Like, it's like, okay, Sony, if you wouldn't have done those moves, that could have been a shift, you know, negatively compared to you doing that. And it's that type of stuff that matters, where it's like, these are moments in life where it's like, imagine if you didn't do that in that window, but they did. Timing and execution. Whereas Microsoft decided not to. And you see, there's always those differences right there. Where it's like, not only did Sony outsmart you and beat you, but you also destroyed yourself. So this guy says, I lament Sony's decision to open up to PC. Helldivers 2 should have been a PS5 exclusive for at least 2 years. Let it sell 10 million No. See, he's being dumb. Yeah, like he's being a fanboy. No. And when it's saturated, only then port it to PC, no Xbox. Right now, they're being daylight robbed by Gabe Newell due to having to pay 30% royalties. Dude, I mean, this guy's a moron. No, dude, because they're going to get that back through microtransactions on PC. Times 10. It's like, no. This is what you call somebody being a pony. And not understanding that Sony's vision was correct and they made that decision. You're trying to go back against a 20 million success so they could just look better only on a platform? You're an idiot. That's not... No, man. The game needs more optimization on the console version. It's not unlocked 60 frames, even on the PS5 Pro, and that's acceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, dude, it's fine. Truth be told, no one expected Helldivers 2 would sell a fraction of these 20 million copies. Yeah, nobody's seen that, but it still did it. As far as Sony were concerned, like, I don't understand when you get all that success and all this is happening, you come and say this comment. Like, dude, no. While focusing on on that effing expensive Concord turd. There was no marketing. There was zero hype. It was a spiritual sequel to the mostly forgotten top-down twin stick shooter from 2015. That was okay, but not great. And then Helldivers 2 just exploded out of nowhere. It never became as mega successful as games like Fortnite and League of Legends, but it's up there with the best. And this guy's like, yeah, okay, but this guy says it's clear PlayStation fanboys are dreaming if they think Helldivers 2 could hit 10 million sales as a PS5 as a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, there's no point of even thinking about that because that's not what's going to happen, and it didn't happen. We need to look at what's happening now, and then they need to work on the Switch 2 version. The reality is that aside from Spider-Man, all PS5 exclusives have sold under 3 to 4 million during their launch window, and most major Sony AAA titles have been ported to PC to boost numbers, especially as PS5 exclusive game sales have plateaued. I mean, there's a lot of Sony games like, dude, what do you mean? God of War sells a lot. Sold 10 million plus easily. Uncharted did the same thing. So Gran Turismo is at like 17 million. It's like, that can happen, but there's no reason to get all into that because this guy wants to be a huge pony. This person says, PC gaming said, that's funny. I mean, yeah, it's free multiplayer with better graphics, frame rate, and control. Seems pretty obvious. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you want the PC base. It's all interconnected anyways. So there's a reason for there's a reason for that type of comment. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, that guy's goofy, man. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, these are crazy numbers. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Keep gaming no matter what platform we're on. You know what I say about that. As much as I criticize Xbox, I still love the Xbox brand, the legacy of it. Just mad at Microsoft, but that doesn't mean you should stop enjoying it if you have it. No, keep gaming. There's nothing wrong with gaming on an Xbox platform. There's something wrong with the way they've handled the Xbox identity and what Microsoft's been doing with it. Peace out, y'all.